Hi there and welcome. Are you ready for Valentine's Day, or do you still need a special gift for that special someone? If you watch my video, you'll see a few ideas that I have created for you. So stay tuned. So my first project is this love sign that I found at the thrift store, and it matches the one that I found not too long ago that I have a previous video on. I am taking out the little picture there, cute little picture, and I went and washed it, and now I'm just sanding it down. I'm doing this one a little different. I didn't want to do it the same as the other one, just because you'd already seen that, so I don't want to duplicate. But for those of you that haven't seen it yet, I'll link it above. And here I'm just getting some Mod Podge to put over it. Just giving it a light coat, because what I'm going to do is use this paper that I found online. It was so pretty, and so I printed it big enough so I can cover this, and it turns out so pretty. I really like this paper. I think I want to use it for some other projects. I'm just cutting it out here and then using my X-Acto knife to get into the little grooves of the center part. And of course around that opening of the O. So then just sanding it down to get the edges to come down to the sides easier. And then putting another thin coat of Mod Podge over the top. So then once that's all dry, and I'm just wiping it down here. Once I had that all dried, I made this messy bow. It was really, I cut some lace ribbon down into strips so it would be small enough, and then just dovetailed the ends. And here I'm just putting together the messy part. And then these are from the Dollar Tree, cute little like pearl-like things. And I just cut it down and then cut it so that it was thinner. And then cut the sides as an angle. So then I took another piece and just cut a strip of it, cut it in half, and I'm just going to tie that around and tie it in a knot in the back. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. So then once I have that all tied up in a bow, I just, oh, I forgot, I'm painting this circle so that I can put the bow on that. So I gave that 2 good coats, and here I'm just sanding in the areas to, so that you can't see that paint that's dried around in the circle. So I thought it would be a cute idea to use strips of that pearl ribbon that I used on the bow and just put a little bit around the O. And I'm just using Mod Podge to put it on. See right there. And that just seemed to finish out the look a little bit. So now that it's all dry and done, I'm just putting the bow on. Turned out cute. For my next project, I'm making an envelope, and I'm starting off with this fabric that it's actually a drop cloth from Harbor Freight for, I think I got it for like $8, and it's huge. It's a lot of material, and I have yet to like get through, I think, a quarter of it. I just cut a strip of of the fabric, about 10.5 inches, and I want it frayed looking. And then I want the envelope to be about 3 inches wide, and then 6 inches tall. So that's what I'm measuring out here. Just the 6 inches for the front and back, and then 2 inches in between. And I'm using one piece of full piece of material to make that envelope. Now for the flat part, to where you flip the envelope shut, where it kind of angles, I cut another piece out to kind of measure where I want to cut that to make it look right. So here I'm just angling it to make sure that I've got that angle correct. And then cutting the other side now that I have the one angled. So then I ended up doing this a little bit more of an angle to it, so I trimmed down a little bit so it wasn't so squared. And then I took some cardboard that I had from some Chalk Couture stuff that came in the mail, and I just cut it down to measure that piece, or to fit that piece that I had cut, just like that. So actually I cut 2 of the envelope flap, as you can see, and I cut 2 of the bigger piece, because what I'm going to do is use the cardboard in between it all, if that makes sense. So here I'm just cutting that down to fit there, and now I'm getting the Mod Podge out and covering it completely so that I can put the piece of fabric on top. My Presley. So it was bowing, but once you get the other side with Mod Podge on it, it ends up flattening out. So I'm just sticking that onto the one side of the fabric, making sure that there's no wrinkles, and then doing the other side. And also you can sit something heavy on it, and that helps straighten it out as well. But you'll end up folding it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And again, just making sure there's no wrinkles. And doing the same here. The Mod Podge and then the fabric in between, or on top and the cardboard in between. I really like this project. It turned out super cute. It's actually, I'm making it for a customer, for his wife, for Valentine's Day. So then once I've got those all glued and dried, I'm gluing the flap on, and I wanted the frayed part to look cute on the outer side. So I'm just measuring where I said the 6 inches on each side and the 3 inches in the center. And now I'm making the side portion of it. So I just cut, I believe, this is 12 inches long and 3 inches wide. And then I ended up just gluing these on. I don't know why, but it was faster. And it worked fine. But I think the Mod Podge needed to be on the outer bigger portions so that you wouldn't see the glue if it ended up coming through. So I did 2 of those, and see it, how you could see I've glued that flap on, and now I am just folding it so that that 3-inch portion is in the center. And it kind of looks like a purse. And I ended up gluing the flap on the back side so it stays up. And now I'm gluing the sides down to make the envelope portion. And here you can see I'm just gluing in all the parts that ended up coming apart that didn't stay. And I kind of did that on all the corners. So now we're moving over to make the hearts that I'm going to put inside of the basket. and I just cut some long, thinner looking hearts. I folded some red felt and then folded it again so I could cut the heart. So we want 2 pieces of the heart. And I kind of shaped them accordingly to make them look good. And I did 2 other little ones. I don't know what happened to my film here, but it's kind of foggy looking. I apologize. But I took some batting and put it in the middle of the heart, and now I'm just gluing them down. And then what I did is, I'm shaping it here for where it kind of looked a little funky looking, so I'm just cutting it down so it's shaped better. So right here I'm just cutting a hole, and then I'm going to put some hot glue on that skewer and just glue it inside of there. Here I'm showing the batting that I did on the little ones and gluing them down. And doing the same thing. I did it on all 3 of them. So then I had to cut the skewers to fit where I wanted them for the angle. So I ended up doing that, I guess, a little bit later here. So I'm putting some Dollar Tree foam in, and then now I'm making the envelope portion. So I took this Dollar Tree lace ribbon and just cut it to look like that's where the flap is, and then just gluing that down. So then the heart I'm putting on the front, I'm using that same music note paper that I printed off of the earlier project, and I'm using that for this heart and just trimming it down. And then doing the same thing I did to the love sign, just getting all the edges off with the sandpaper. It comes off so much easier with the sandpaper on it. So once I have the paper on, I'm just giving a good coat of the Mod Podge. And now I'm just cutting out that hole because I do want to have that hole for twine. So the twine that came with the Dollar Tree heart, I'm just wrapping that around the top part of that just a few times, and then I tie it in a bow. And see how cute? So I'm just gluing it on the front where the flap ends. It looks like a little stamp that you put on your envelope that you're sending out. And now I'm putting stuff into where that foam is that I mentioned earlier. I just have this moss. You can get it at the dollar store, or Dollar Tree, but I didn't find any there, and I've had this sitting in there. I don't know where I got it from, but it didn't take much to put in here. And then I have this garland, and you might recognize it from my last video for Valentine's door wreath or door hanger. And I had some left over, so I thought it'd be cute in this basket. And I actually got this idea on Pinterest, and I thought it would be so cute to make. It's not my original idea. So I'm just putting a little bit of this on the front portion and the back portion, this lamb's ear. And I apologize, it's kind of out of range, but you'll see a little bit here. So now I'm cutting down that skewer to fit the hearts in. And I did that on all of them to make sure they fit right. And I did them at different angles, so it kind of looked really super cute. And this I bought on Amazon, and it's just kind of springy looking with some little, I think it's baby's breath. And I just am putting that, a few pieces here and there, kind of draped out of it, and then in the back. And I had this from years ago. I don't remember where I got it, but it's just red and white, like berry spray, I guess is what you would call it. And it has wire, so you can arrange it however you want. And now I'm just filling in the empty spots with some moss and then covering up the skewers of those hearts so you can't see the skewer stick. And now you can see a little better. And here I'm just wrapping those around, like around my finger, to make them look springy, and doing all of them. I really love this. See how cute? And then see how the flap is on the back there sticking up. Kind of gives it support. I love it, but we're not done. So now I thought it would be cute to make this little love sign to put in it. And I guess I should have went and cut this with my saw, but I didn't really want to get it all out. So I just used the Dollar Tree snippers and cut it down. Now I'm just sanding the edges to make it look nice and smooth. So now I'm taking some Mod Podge, I'm putting it on, giving it a good coat, and I'm using that same paper again and just sticking that down on the front of the sign. Just cutting around it so I can get it close, and then I can use the sandpaper. And it worked really well. So then I put another coat of Mod Podge on top to seal it in. And I'm just hot gluing the words love on it. And the leftover skewers that I cut off of the previous ones, I'm just gluing a little short one on. It worked out perfect. And I'm just sticking it into the front. It just gave it that special touch. I just love it. Well, this was one of my favorite Valentine decor pieces that I've made so far. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you did as well. And I am so grateful for all of my subscribers and all of the new ones that I have gotten recently. Just make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well. Thank you so much, and have a great day.